MINAR began 11 years ago in 2013. We were doing some science down here in the Boulby mine, looking at how microbes survive in extreme salty environments. We were interested in how they use carbon and other elements in the extreme salts. We realized this was a very good place to test out any instruments that might be used in planetary exploration. So MINAR, Mine Analog Research, was a program we started to bring groups of scientists and technologists together who are developing instruments for extraterrestrial missions, robotic and human missions, to test them out here at the mine with other research groups in a collaboration.
My name is Christopher Bishop. I'm a research associate at the University of Manchester. I've just joined the Cradle project, which is a centre for robotics and automation in demanding and long-lasting environments. So we're looking at robots in accessing, putting robots in very difficult, unpleasant places so that they can replace essentially human operators doing repetitive work. Cradle's just starting. It's the beginning of the new project, so we're looking at many different environments and talking to many different partners about understanding their challenges and how robotics could be used to solve those challenges. This environment here at Boulby is an extremely challenging environment because it's salty, it's very representative of an extraterrestrial environment of where we deploy robots.
Hello, I'm Dr. Matthew Hale from the University of Manchester. I work in the Robotics for Extreme Environments group. Our reason for coming to MINAR is to explore this as an example of an extreme environment that we might deploy robots into. My current project is actually for nuclear environments, where the reason that they're extreme is largely the high levels of radiation, which is obviously quite different from down here in the mine, but a lot of the similar challenges are also involved, like unstructured rugged terrain. Dust is also a big problem in nuclear environments, as it is down here, for example. And we want to be able to produce robots that can do various different environments. So we're interested in exploring the mine environment as well. We brought a few robots to bring with us to try out to see how they can get around the mine. One of them was a small legged robot called a Unitree. And then we brought one that uses wheels instead to see how they might compare. And our colleague brought a drone to fly around as well. And the other thing that we've been looking at is how the robots can scan the environment using different LiDAR systems. So we brought a commercial stationary LiDAR to make what we call a ground truth data set. So that's what the mine really looks like. And then we'll be able to compare that against the scans that the robots were able to take as they walked around in order to see what the differences are.
My name's Helen Shell. I'm a visual artist who specialises in work about space exploration. I also am a specialist space science educator. So as an artist, I have a project called the Human Spaceship, which is the umbrella project for multiple other projects about visual perception in altered gravity. So how we see off this planet, because we do not see the same once we leave planet Earth, simply because the conditions are incredibly different. You know, we don't have Earth's atmosphere and light, so that changes everything that we understand about what we see. Also, the physical conditions of being in space change our physical being and damage our eyesight as well. So as a visual artist, I've got particularly interested in how you see, what you would see and what you would understand, and then how it affects us doing space exploration off planet Earth. I've come down to Boulby Mine, which has these very extreme natural and man-made conditions, and particularly the extremes of light and dark. Here, my project really is looking at moon darkness. I'm using it as an analogue site for the moon because I am not going to get to go to the moon, kind of thing. I spent yesterday down there with a big costume dress, high visibility, called Midnight on the Moon dress, which I think you'll see pictures of. And we did light-dark experiments, what you could see that relates to spacesuit technology and how and what you might perceive, although it is a big work of art. And actually NASA, who I have some conversation with, they're kind of open, but what they haven't really, they do work with artists, but what they haven't done is started employing artists within their projects to be actually part of teams, and that's what they need to, all space agencies need to do that and take us on as part of an experiment of observations and skills.
Yes, so MINAR is a program of work that goes on at Boulby Underground Laboratory. It's one of, we do a lot of science at Boulby, from particle physics to earth sciences to kind of biology and biology on Earth and biology on other planets. So that's the MINAR bit. It stands for Mine Analogue Research, but what it's all about is using the environments deep underground at Boulby to study how life might look on other planets, to practice looking for life on other planets, but also practice going to other planets and sending humans there as well. Yeah. What makes Boulby special is basically, there's a few things. First of all, it's an extreme environment, and teams that want to practice going to Mars and places like that, they're kind of like Mars analogue places that are like Mars in certain ways. For instance, sometimes NASA teams, they go to deserts in Utah and things like that because they kind of look like Mars. But actually, when teams are going to be going to Mars or other planets now, they think they're likely to go looking underground, both because underground is kind of safer to live in, but also when they're looking for life there, it might be that life exists underground. So Boulby, one, is kind of an extreme environment. Two, it's underground in much the same sort of underground environment like we might be using on other planets. But it's also life in the rock at Boulby, actually in the rock salt at Boulby, that it might be similar to the type of life that we'll be looking for on other planets. So many reasons.
MINAR is a fantastic opportunity, and Boulby is a remarkable facility for preparing us for the long-term robotic and human exploration of space.